The tip that led to the arrest was a witness account that one of the men had a rabbit's foot keychain, which someone recognized. She identified Thomas Frank Cisco. After his arrest, it was said there were at least 35 different statements given by Cisco, many of which contradicted each other. As you watch the videotaped confessions, remember, although Cisco names several people, none have ever been charged. Police saying there's no evidence linking them to the crime, and some have a solid alibi.
We want to talk about what happened at KK's grocery. All right, and what do you know about that?
Well, I know who did it.
Okay.
I was there.
Okay. Tell me, you were living in New Orleans, so how did you come to be here?
I rode a bus here.
Okay, and why did you come to Lake Charles?
Well, the reason I came to Lake Charles is because I really wanted to get a new start.
Go to what?
Get a new start.
What do you do?
I go to Robert's house.
Okay.
Knocked on his door.
All right.
And he said, "Come in."
Okay.
I went in. He told me to sit down and have a seat. I sat down and watched MTV.
We're talking about him not be having a job, or
yes,
that having financial problems or whatever you said. And what y'all smoke a little dope, you said, and what else? What else is going on with
Well, then he just popped up like out of the blue, man, and said, let's go rob KK's corner. I thought it was a joke, bro. Actually, I really and truly thought it was a joke at first. Then he started getting serious about it. He was telling me, let's go rob KK's corner. That's all they kept talking about, was robbing KK's corner. And like a dummy, I went with it.
Okay. How does it come up to rob KK's corner?
They just come up out of the blue, bro. Just come up out of the blue. And we sat there and we planned it all out.
All right, where do you plan?
We planned to go there.
No, where? Are you at his house?
House.
Okay.
At his house.
All right. Let me have my pen. All right, go ahead. Go ahead. You're planning it out.
We planned it out, and the way we planned it out was we would go there late, right around closing time. We give everybody time to get there or whatever they were going to do and then leave. All the customers and everything. And then he told me this was the plan for us to do. Okay, we would go there. He would go through the front. I would meet him at the back, where he could let me in. And he would cut the wires to the phone into the alarm system, so that nobody could call the cops, and so that no alarms would go off. And he said that he would kill everybody there if he had to. Everybody was in the store. Everybody was in the store.
Okay.
So, when the lady's coming out of the store, Robert gets out. I get out. Robert bumps into the lady on purpose.
Why?
Being a smart ass that he was.
What did he say to her?
He told her she was a bitch.
Okay, did you hear him say
No, I
that?
didn't. I didn't hear him say. I could see his lips.
Okay, were you close enough to where you could have heard him if he would have said
No,
what?
I wasn't that close.
Okay.
You remember what the lady looked like?
Yeah, she was short, medium built, and she was white.
Okay.
Did you carry a keychain?
I carried a keychain. I carried there was a rabbit's foot keychain that I always carried.
Now, how did you carry that?
I carried it in my back pocket.
Okay, was it all the way tucked in?
No, the rabbit's foot always stuck out.
We're talking, Tom, about him getting out of the car.
Yes, sir.
You said he's got the little duffel bag folded up. It's under his right arm.
Yes, sir.
He's got the 38.
It's got a 38 on him, and he's got the 9mm.
He still has both
He
guns.
still has both guns.
Okay. He gets out and goes to the door.
He goes to the door.
Where does he run into the lady?
At the front doors.
Okay, so
they basically met
at the door.
at the doors.
Okay. And he tells her something, or looks like he says something.
Yes,
to her.
sir.
He goes into the store.
Yes, sir.
All right. Where does he go inside the store?
He goes inside the store to the cash register, in front of the cash register.
So she pulls off, I take it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And he pulls the gun out.
Yes, sir.
You see him pull the
Yes,
gun
sir.
out.
And when I seen him pull the guns out And like I said, the plans were when he pulls the gun, I'm to walk around back and wait for him to open the door. He still got them at gunpoint, but when he opened the door, I walked in. He handed me the 38 when I walked to the back door.
Okay.
And I told them to come over here because they had like an aisle right here because they had like two shelves right here. And I told them to come over here.
Okay. You have your gun out?
Yes, sir.
You have it pointed at them?
Yes, sir.
And you're pointing it at who?
I'm pointing at Stacy and the two other store people.
All three of them?
All three of them. Well, Stacy was asking me what I was doing there. And
what'd you tell her?
All I told her was, I'm sorry. You know, I mean, what can I say? I mean, I was there.
How was Stacy?
She was
Wait.
crying.
Okay.
She was crying.
Was he?
She was scared?
She was scared. She was scared and shaking.
What about the girl?
The girl was crying. Both of them were crying.
She asked you?
She asked me what I was doing there.
She asked you, I mean, she called you by name?
Yes, sir. She said, Tom, what are you doing here?
And how did you answer that?
I answered it. Well, I just answered it. I'm sorry, you know.
Okay. What did she say to you?
She didn't say, I'm trying to remember what else she said after that. First thing he did was
What did he do first?
Went behind the counter.
Okay, now, when we talked with you before, that's not what you told us. You said the first thing he did was take the people one at a time.
That's what he did.
Okay, now let's
Okay,
think about it.
You're bringing it all back.
Okay.
Okay, I'm tired, bro. I
All right.
really am. I'm really tired.
Let's take it from where he cut the wires.
He cut the wires.
All right.
Okay, when he cut the wire, I'm still shaking. Man, I hate talking about this shit. He cut the wires. He come up, and he got the girl first. No, he got the guy first. And he took him to the back. I heard the doors close.
What doors?
I don't know what door. I just heard the door open and close because I had my back to him.
And why
I was watching the others.
Okay.
And so he takes him back there.
Yes, sir. He takes him back there, and when he closed the door, that's when I heard 3 shots.
Okay. How
They were just constantly pow, pow, pow.
quick?
Yes, they were quick.
Okay.
He come back in.
Okay, now you heard 3 shots, and you're holding a gun on Stacy and the other girl.
Yes, sir.
What's their reaction?
They're panicking. They're really panicking. When he comes back in, he gets the girl. He says, "You're next."
What do you mean he gets the girl? Does he grab her?
He don't grab her or anything. He tells her to come with me. You know, he tells her to come with me, and then
What did she say?
that's when she was saying no. She was saying no all the way out.
Okay.
You know,
Well,
I
she
mean,
says
wasn't
no. So,
willing.
but does she go?
Yeah, she goes. She goes. I mean, he got her at gunpoint. She's got to go.
Okay.
You know, either go or die right there in the store.
Well, did he tell her that, or
No, he didn't tell her that, but I mean, I know that's what he was going to do if she didn't go. Okay, so he took her out, and then I heard 2 shots. It was instant, pow, pow.
Are you sure it was 2? Could it have been more or less?
It could have been more. It could have been more.
But you're sure that there were at least 2?
Oh, I know there are at least 2.
Now what is Stacy telling you?
Stacy's telling me, please let me go. And what I tell her is, if I let you go, he's going to shoot both of us.
Okay, now you're looking her in the eye. And
I'm
she's your
looking her
friend.
straight in the eye, man.
Okay.
Okay, I mean, I want to bust out in tears, dude, because I'm the one sitting here holding my best friend at gunpoint. You know, that I've known for years.
You know what's going to happen.
I know what's going to happen to her. Hell, it just happened to the other 2. I know what he's going to do. He ain't going to let none of them live. He ain't going to let none of them live.
Okay.
And she's telling me, please let me go.
What do you tell her?
I told her I can't, because if I do, he's going to kill both of us.
What does she say?
And she didn't say anything then. And when he came in, he says, come on, you're next, Stacy.
He called her by name?
Yeah.
What did she say?
She didn't say anything.
She didn't say anything to him?
She walked back there with him. And that's when I heard self-response.
Heard what?
Several shots.
You don't know how many?
No. I know it was several.
What does he do?
And then he comes back in. Like I said, I hear the doors close. He comes back in. My back's still toward him. I'm looking out in the parking lot to see if anybody's coming. And then he goes behind the counter. Like I said, I don't know if he bent down or whatever. But he goes to the cash registers. He pulls out the money. He empties those.
You know while he's doing that, what are you doing?
I'm still looking out the window.
Okay.
I'm still looking out the front glass to make sure if anybody's coming or not. I hate talking about this shit. And then he went to the back to where the manager's office was. I was still looking out in the front. I just glanced. And when I glanced, he was already out.
Okay.
And he had the duffel bag. I call it a duffel bag, like I said. He had the duffel bag in the right hand, and he had the money and the videotapes.
So he had some more money. How much money? Could you tell how thick it was?
No, it was about that thick.
Let me ask you this, Tommy, since Stacy's your friend and pretty close friend from what I can tell. At any point while y'all were in the store, did you try to stop?
I did try to stop him.
What happened?
Well, I told him that it's not worth it.
At what point did you tell him that?
That's when we was inside, when I walked through the door, and that's when he was going to go shoot him.
Before he shot him?
Yeah, it was before. I told him it's not worth it.
Not worth what?
It's not worth all this bullshit. It ain't worth taking the money, right?
Why?
Because, why take somebody's life over money? Why take somebody's life over money?
Did y'all have to kill him?
No, we didn't have to kill him. But that's what he wanted to do.
Why?
Because he didn't want nobody to know who he was. He didn't want nobody to know that it was him and me that was in the store. We leave, we go to his house. We get out the car, and we get out the car, and we go into his house. He goes. All
right, y'all leave the store. You go straight back to the house.
Straight back to his house.
Okay.
We get to his house. We go in. He goes straight to the back.
Okay.
The back being where?
I guess it was his room.
Okay, one of the bedrooms.
It was one of the bedrooms.
That area. Okay.
One of the bedrooms. He comes back out. He gives me my money.
How much
I got
money?
$400.
$400? And what?
It was mixed up. It was mixed up with 5s, 10s, 20s.
Okay.
And then he tells
Do
me.
you know how much money he got?
He said like $800.
I noticed while we were out of the room, you were writing something. You mind if I read what you wrote?
No, go ahead.
This is, says, Stacy, I want you to know that why don't you read this? It'd probably be easier for you to read your writing than me.
It says, Stacy, I want you to know that I'm really sorry for what happened. If I knew you were going to be there that night, I would have never let it happen. I really wouldn't. Please, if you're up there listening, please understand that if I could take your place and the other's place, I would in a New York minute. If it was up to me that night, I would have done it totally different. I would have just took all the money and took my chances of getting caught. I know that you could never forgive me, but I'm really sorry from the bottom of my heart. And so, no matter what happened, I still love you, sis. If you can find it in your heart, please forgive me. If you can. I'm paying for what I did, and he will pay for what he did, because I'm going to do everything in my power to see that he is caught. I promise. I cry a lot since you're gone. Believe me, I do. Again, I'm really sorry about everything. Boston, I love you very much, and Mitch.
And you wrote this? Is that what you feel about it?
Yes, sir.
Who's the he you're referring to, Tom?
Robert Stickman.
You know that we're gonna pick Robert up.
I hope so.
And Tom, if we pick him up and he could do several things. He could say he don't want to talk to us, okay? Or he could talk to us and say that you're the one that did all of this.
I knew I wasn't the one that did it all. Because I didn't pull no trigger on nobody. I can't even pull a trigger on my own self. Must let somebody else.
The first suspect Cisco named was cleared quickly. His alibi was solid and didn't match the witness description. Deputies say when they asked Cisco about it, he laughed and said he just told them Robert's name because he didn't like him. He would give a drastically different confession just 4 days later.
What is it I'm gonna tell you is I didn't commit these murders, dude. I was talking to my ex on the phone after y'all had left, and she asked me, why you confessed to something that you didn't fucking do?
Okay.
And, man, I want this shit to be over with this as much as y'all do, Lucky. I felt like I was being harassed by the FBI. I lost 2 jobs, bro. I lost my place to live, where I was living at before with Brandon and Josh and Miss Shaw and them.
Okay, what do you mean you were being harassed by them? Because I understand they only come and talk to you twice. Once when
That's
they gave
bullshit,
you
because they came over there when I was at work, bro. They come over there when I was at work. Okay? That got me kicked out of my apartment, bro, that I was paying half the rent for.
Okay.
Okay? Now, I felt like I was being harassed.
Right.
Okay?
But why would you confess to murders, Tom, to keep from being harassed? That doesn't make sense.
I'm just telling you, Lucky. I swear on, if you give me a stack of Bibles right now, but I swear on my kid's life, and I don't never swear on my kid's life or anything. I did not commit these murders, dude. I did not commit these murders, and I do not know who did commit these murders. And just like I told the officers that came up to the jail a while ago, the only reason I know the layout to the store is because I had been there before. I also talked to my sister. I called my sister when they first started letting me use the phone. You know, my sister sat there and told me, well, Tom, you admitted like this before that you did a rape when you didn't do it. And I did. Because I wanted the shit to be over with. Okay? And that's the main reason why I did this, man. Because I want this shit to be over with. I'm tired of people looking at me. You understand what I'm saying, Lucky?
But
I know it don't make no sense.
No, it doesn't. And let me tell you something, okay? Tom, if you want people to quit looking at you, confessing to it makes them look at you worse.
I understand that now.
Less, you know?
I understand that now. I really do. I understand that now. It makes me look like a fucking criminal.
Yeah, and what have I been telling you the whole time?
Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Tell the
If you
truth.
didn't do this, tell us. If you did, then we want to know that.
I've also been scared shitless, bro. That's
Why are you
another
scared?
reason. Because I ain't never dealt with the FBI before. That may have been the reason why I failed the lie detectors test, because I was scared shitless.
Well, I don't think, I get scared when I take them too, Tom, but I don't feel them. But I want to tell you, that there's some things that you've told us. I told you that only somebody that was in the store would know.
Well, I told you, I've been in the store before.
What was the purpose in writing the letter the other night to Stacy?
I don't know. Felt bad.
Why would you feel bad?
Because that was my best friend, dude. That was my best friend.
And for you to write a letter to Stacy apologizing doesn't make sense to me, Tom.
I didn't do it, Lucky. I didn't do it. Like I said, I would not swear on my kid's head for nothing. Unless
Well, I don't know that now, Tom, because you've sworn to me so many times.
I wouldn't.
You know,
My ex will tell you.
But what did you tell me this morning? You said, Lucky, I swear, I'm not going to lie to you. Why would I confess to something that I didn't do?
I talked to my ex this morning, man, and she just, it hit me, dude. I can't lie anymore. I can't lie anymore. I really can't. And I didn't do it. I didn't do it.
All right. How would you know about the phone lines being cut?
That's just something I made up too. That's just something I made up too, and I swear, Lucky, I'm telling you, man.
How would you know about the money being taken out of the registers?
What is any other criminal gonna do? They damn sure ain't gonna leave no money in no damn registers if
But
they
what
gonna rob
else did
it.
you tell me? You said the other guy went in the back to the counter, back in the back office, and took the money? Remember
Yeah, I
that?
understand I told you that. I remember all of that. I remember all of that.
Well, then how would you know there was money in the back office?
Any store is going to have money in the back office, Lucky. Every store that I have worked in has had money in the back. And I've never robbed any stores. Man, if I wanted to rob any stores, Lucky, don't you think I'd have had a chance to rob every damn Eckers that I had ever worked in?
Probably so.
I've worked in just about every Eckers on the whole Florida coast.
And what I'm telling you, Tom, I don't know what the truth is anymore.
Well, I understand that because I have told so many lies. I understand.
And every time you tell me,
y'all do what y'all got to do.
but every time you tell me, you swear that it's the truth, Tom.
I know. I understand that. I told you I need to see a psychiatrist, Lucky.
And I understand that, but
I need to.
I want to know the truth now. What is the truth?
Everything I'm telling you right now is the honest to God.
That you made all this
I
up,
made every bit of it up.
and you had nothing to do with
I had
it.
nothing to do with it. I had nothing to do with it.
And if we compare your hairs to the hairs we found in the store,
Compare them.
and
Compare 'em.
and if these people come in and view you, what if they pick you out,
If
Tom?
they pick me out, it's a crock of shit because I ain't been here, Lucky.
And the letter to Stacy about apologizing for her getting killed and all that, you're saying was just made up?
It was just made up.
Why would you cry the way you cried?
Because I got feelings, bro. I mean, I got feelings, Lucky.
Well, sure you have feelings. I have feelings
I'm
too.
an emotional person.
I hate that Stacy got cried. I mean, that Stacy got killed, but I'm not going to sit here and cry like that and apologize for her getting killed.
I understand that. I'm a very emotional person. I stay depressed. I was on medicine for depression, Lucky.
I just want the truth from you, Tom.
I was in the cell a while ago, man. I'm sitting here saying to myself, why the fuck you confess to something that you didn't even fucking do? And I started crying, dude, because I did that shit. I started crying because I did that shit. Me sitting here thinking, you're looking at the fucking death penalty now because you're being so fucking stupid.
Yeah? And where did you get a blue Escort? You just made that up?
Made it up. Just made it up.
And the fact the phone lines were cut, you made up. The fact that how about the number of shots fired and all that?
All that shit was made up. It was all guess up. It was all guess up.
But you guessed right on that much stuff, Tom? Like the caliber of the gun?
I've always wanted a 9mm, Lucky. I have always in my life always wanted a 9mm.
And 9mm would be, you know, I mean, that's a cop.
I mean, I know I couldn't have a 9mm because I had already did time.
Right.
I was already
But what
a
I'm saying,
convicted felon.
If I ask you to guess an automatic weapon, people might say a 9mm.
Yeah.
That's pretty common.
Yeah. Everybody wants a 9mm.
But then they ask you how many times Marty was shot. Okay, that's the guy.
Yeah.
How many times was he shot? What did you say?
Like 2 times?
You said 3.
2 or 3 times?
You said you.
I said 2 times in New Orleans, and they said I changed it.
No, I don't know what you said in New Orleans, but I know what you told me was 3, and that's exactly how many times he was shot. Okay. They asked you how many times Stacy was shot, and you guessed that. Now, and
I said several times.
I don't remember what you said.
I said several times.
But what you're saying is you're guessing these things.
I'm guessing all of them, Lucky.
Well, then what me and you need to do is go to Las Vegas, because if you got that kind of guessing.
No, fuck, I wish I could make some money off of guessing, bro. I really, truly do. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Because it seems like everything you guess right, I mean, that you guess at, you guess right. Like the phone lines being cut. You know, I mean, is that a guess on your part? Yeah, but how many robberies are the phone lines cut? Very few.
Very few.
So why would you guess
Well,
that?
I'm just telling you, I guessed it. Everything I have told you, I have guessed, man, about the murders.
Thomas Frank Cisco is charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder. He's accused of killing Marty LaBeouf, Stacy Reeves, and Nicole Guidry at the convenience store in July 1997. He's being held in the Calcasieu Correctional Center without bond, but Cisco says he's the fall guy in the highly publicized investigation.
I think they're going to try to pin me for it because they have not convicted anybody in a year and a half on this case.
Cisco claims he was good friends with Stacy Reeves, and his association with her led police to him. He says he was friends with Reeves to keep her safe.
The main reason that me and Stacy hung around together is because I could keep her out of trouble, keep her from getting hurt. I had no reason to do any of that.
Cisco says FBI intimidation is partly to blame for his confession to authorities, as well as his drug addiction.
During this investigation, when I was being I was on drugs when I was being questioned. That's why I confessed. I was under a lot of pressure. I was tired of the FBI harassing me.
Sisko says he has an alibi, but people who can back up his alibi have been intimidated by the FBI. Officials from the Violent Crimes Task Force and District Attorney's Office refuse to comment about the case. Meantime, Sisko maintains his innocence and says if he knew who was guilty, he would tell authorities.
I did not do these crimes. I mean, if I had any thought that I did them, I would, you know, I wouldn't hesitate. But if I knew anybody that did them, I would tell you. I would tell you.
The next video confession release would come in January of 1999. The story very different from the first ones. Not only the reason he came to Lake Charles that night, how he got there, who shot the victims, who cut the phone lines, and how much was stolen. Sisko was now claiming to be the one who pulled the trigger.
From the beginning, it was me. I was at this guy named Bobby's house. I don't know his last name. I mean, I lived with him for, I guess you could say, since late June of '97. Went to the French Quarter, and this is where we met up with the black guy, the black male.
Bobby's a white male?
Bobby's, I guess, he speaks Spanish. He's half Spanish and half white. It's because I used to know some people here that dealt drugs, that I could get them cheap. But we got down here, and when we got over there, we seen the store. We seen KK's Corner. And this was right around closing time of KK's Corner. And this is the part that I hate the most, man. When we got over there, I said something about going to get something to drink. In my mind the whole time, and lucky, I mean, I know the tape's rolling, and I want to tell you that I hope you don't think bad about me, man.
Never have.
Tell you what I gotta tell you is when we got to the where'd I leave off at?
You talked about getting something to drink.
Okay, I said let's go get something to drink. When we started to pull into the parking lot, there was a car there. I told him wait, don't pull in yet. Go up the street, go up Tom Abear Road a little ways and turn around and we'll come back. Well, when we come back through, the car was still there, and she was just getting ready to walk out the store. It's a white female.
Okay.
And when, I'm trying not to cry, bro, I really am. I'm trying to be a man and get through this no matter how much I'm shaking. White female looked at me. The white female looked at me.
You say we started in the store. Who?
It was me and the black male. Bobby stayed in the car the whole time.
Okay.
I mean, I told Bobby to stay in the car.
Go ahead.
Okay, the white female seen me. Now, I'm pretty sure she got a good look at the black male, too. I don't know for sure. At the time, I wasn't worried about it because I was on drugs. I didn't care. When we went into the store after I seen that the white female was getting ready to leave, when she pulled off, I pulled my gun.
What kind of gun did you have?
A 9mm. And my heart's beating 90 miles an hour.
Okay.
I pulled the 9mm and I told them all that this was the hold up.
Where were they at?
They were behind the counter.
Who was back there?
Stacy and I don't know the other two's names. I just know Stacy and the young 14-year-old, and the male was behind the counter. People that worked there.
Go ahead.
And
Stacy knew you?
Yeah, Stacy knew me. Me and Stacy were good friends.
Did she say anything to you when you said that?
No, she kind of looked at me funny. You know, like, what are you doing? You know, and when I held my gun up, I told the black male to pull his, because we always carried guns, me and the black male, because of course we dealt with drugs. Okay, that's the style in New Orleans. You carry a gun with you, even if you got to buy it off the streets, which I did. And the black male, I'm sure he bought his off the streets.
Okay. What kind of gun did he have?
He had a .38.
Go ahead.
And when I, like I said, when I pulled my gun, I told him to pull his, and I told them all to come out from behind the counter and get in the middle of the aisle, and that's where the black male held them.
What'd you do?
And I mean, I had the black bag, the one that the district, I mean, the one that the FBI agents saw at my apartment was the black bag I had. That was the black bag that was with me.
Okay.
I mean, the only reason I had the black bag mainly was because I wanted to put the drugs in it that we brought back from here to go sell them in New Orleans.
Okay.
And when they got into the aisle, I mean, like I said, look, I wasn't in my right state of mind, man. I was on drugs, and I realized that now. When I called them each, one by one, from where they were standing in the aisle, and I motioned them back to the cooler one by one. And as they came back there, I set them down, executioner style, and shot them.
Okay. Who did you shoot first?
I shot the white male first.
Where'd you put him?
I put him, and this is the part that's really got me. The white male was first. He was sitting facing me. He was facing me in front of me, right at the beginning of the coolers, if I can remember correctly. I mean, like I said, I was on drugs. And I didn't really care how I said them, dude, honestly. And I shot him.
You know where you shot him?
No, I don't.
You know how many times you shot him?
I know I shot him at least 2 or 3 times.
Okay. You know
At
where
least.
you hit him?
No, didn't care.
Did he say anything to you?
No. He just looked at me like he knew he was fixing to die.
Didn't, I mean, you think he knew that?
Honestly, I couldn't tell you. Okay.
Then what'd you do?
I went back and got the 14-year-old.
Okay.
Brought her to the cooler. Shot her.
Okay. Where was she?
She was right beside him.
And you say beside, right next to him, or?
It was basically right next to him.
Okay. And
I don't know where I shot her at. Didn't care.
you know how many
care.
times you shot her?
I know it was at least. I know I unloaded at least about 3 or 4 on her.
Okay. Did
Give
she
or
say
take 3 or
anything?
4. No, she's another one that just looked at me. Well, she was crying. She was crying. I knew what was going through her mind when I had the gun on. You know. And the last one, that's the one I really hated the most because I loved Stacy, and I would have gave anything in the world. But at the time, I didn't care. I didn't want to get caught with it. I took her into the cooler and shot her. I know I shot her multiple times.
Did she ever say anything to you, Tom?
She was crying. She asked me why I did it, why I was doing it. And I told her, to be honest with you, I don't want to get caught. I don't want to take no chances of getting caught. And at the whole time, Lucky, I had planned to rob the store.
The whole time?
The whole time, I had planned to rob a store,
From?
and I took a black tape. It wasn't a tape that they found at my apartment.
Okay.
It wasn't a tape that I burnt that tape because I was determined not to get caught. I took some money out the cash registers. I don't know how much I took. I know it wasn't a lot. You know, but the money that I took out the cash registers, I used for drugs.
Okay.
When
you say not a whole lot, what do you figure?
I'd figure around close to about $100, if that. You know.
Did you get any other money?
No, I didn't get any other money.
Did anybody else
The
get
black
any?
man, I don't know.
Was
I
he-
didn't care.
What was he doing?
He was roaming around the store.
Did y'all get into the safe?
No, I didn't. I didn't get into no safe. All I was worried about was doing what I had to do, get what little bit of money I could get, and get the hell out of the store before somebody came up and seen me.
Okay. Okay.
My gun, I sold it on the streets for drugs. It was out in the ninth ward.
You cut the phone lines?
Yeah, Bobby.
Bobby?
cut.
When did that occur?
That occurred like right when I pulled my gun.
Tom, I mean, you told me the first story you ever told us about this was that you didn't do it. That it was Robert
Thigpen.
Thigpen. Okay. And then you told me, you know, that you did it yourself.
I understand that. Yes, I
And,
did.
and now you're telling me this story.
This is the true story. I have
Is
nothing
it?
to bullshit you about.
Pull it. I don't want you to pull it.
I have nothing to bullshit you about. I mean, I'm nervous because I have to sit here and talk about it again. You know, I wish I would have done this before. Got all this shit out in the open. I shouldn't be cursing because of tape rolling,
okay.
but I mean, like I told you, I have to deal with this. You know, I'm the one that's got to deal with this. Don't nobody have to go to bed with nightmares.
Have you ever told anybody that you did this?
No, I've never told anybody.
Have you told anybody else but your mom about Bobby and this blackmail being involved?
The only other one I've told was my lawyer.
You told Evelyn?
Me and Evelyn. I mean, she's gonna be mad at me about this too, but I don't care.
Yeah.
I really and truly don't care. Okay. I told Evelyn what happened. All except for the blackmail part. I told Evelyn too that the blackmail did it. Because I was really scared of saying that I had done it. Because I don't even want to be honest with my own self that I did it.
But you did.
I did it. There's no questions about it. I'm pleading guilty right here, right now on this tape. And there's no changing nothing. There's no changing
And
nothing.
you're not lying to us
No,
today.
I'm not. No, I'm not. Look, you know yourself, man. I don't know if you know yourself. I don't know if I told you or not. But you knew, I guess, that I used to be in devil worshiping.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and I'm not scared of dying. That's something I'm not scared of. It's just, I'm scared of facing the reality that I'm going to have to, but I'm not scared of dying. You know, it's just the reason I didn't come out and tell y'all before, the reason I come and give y'all a runaround before, it's not because of the way y'all talk to me, because y'all didn't talk to me nothing bad. Y'all were just straight up people with me. But I just didn't want to face the truth that I had done it.
When you take the mail into the cooler, where at in the cooler is it whenever you're shooting?
That's just what I was telling Lucky. I don't remember, dude. I don't remember how I said any of them when I shot them. All I know is that I said them executioner style.
Explain what you mean by that.
Well, they were facing me.
They're facing you when you shot them?
Yeah.
And you remember that?
I remember that part, but I don't.
You don't remember exactly where?
I don't remember exactly where or how they were set or anything like that.
Do you remember what anybody was wearing?
No, didn't care.
What about Stacy? Do you remember what she was wearing?
No, didn't care.
Where you don't remember? You said you don't remember where you shot them on the body. What part of the body you shot?
No, I just shot.
Were you close to them or were you far from them when you shot?
I was pretty close.
Me to you to Ramby?
About from like me to you.
On all three, or
At
was it distance?
least that's what it seemed like to me. I was this close, man, because I mean they were looking dead at me.
And were they close enough that they could have grabbed you?
I'd say that yeah. If they really wanted to grab me, they could grab me.
Nobody.
As far as I can see.
Nobody tried to struggle with you or fight
I
with
mean,
you?
would you try to struggle with somebody that had a 9mm stuck on you?
Depends on the circumstances.
Yeah.
Nobody. I mean, they didn't scream or holler.
Oh, they were screaming. They wasn't screaming. They were looking at me crying. But Stacy was begging me to let her go.
What did she say?
She just told me, she said, why are you doing this? She said, let's talk about this. You know, she said, let's talk about it. Why are you doing this? I wasn't paying no attention.
How
to what
much
she was
time?
saying.
Like, you take the guy back into the cooler and you shoot him. How much time before you go back for the little girl?
This was a matter of seconds.
Right after-
About
one after the other.
Roughly of them.
Okay. You said earlier something about tying them up.
Yeah.
When did you do that in the sequence of the shooting?
I do that right before I shoot them. Right before I shot him, I tied him up.
So you brought the male in and you tied him up?
And shot him.
Where'd you get the rope?
From off the shelf.
In the store?
And the day that the day that the FBI came and got me from my house, I knew what it was about.
You said in your interview that you were confessing to this because the FBI pressured you in on this.
Yes, I did.
Is that true?
No.
You confessed why?
I confessed because I couldn't take the shit no more.
Because your conscience was
Because my conscience was bothering me.
So why'd you tell KPLC that?
I don't know. Just being stupid. I had a little miniature thing right here on my shoulder, man, it was really telling me you can get away with this if you really try. You know what I'm saying? It's like a little devil that's sitting right there on your thing. Your conscience. One part of your conscience is good, the other part of your conscience is bad.
But they didn't mistreat you or anything, and they didn't.
No, they didn't mistreat. I mean, they were just doing their job. They were just doing their job. Yeah, at one point, the Detective Holliday did point his finger in my face and tell me, you did this and you know you did this. He did do that, but it was not a meanness, it was just part of his job.
A week later, another admission when deputies take Cisco to show them where he burned the surveillance videotape. He admits a fourth person was with his group that night. Once again, none of the men he named have ever been charged with a crime because of lack of evidence or having a solid alibi.
Tim has a flyer he wants to show you.
This is the flyer that was made up concerning the individual that was seen at the scene that was wanted for questions. Tommy, you provided us two names, Malcolm and Bobby. Which one do you think this is supposed to be? Bobby. Okay. Have you ever seen the first drawing? This is the first composite drawing that was made up following the incident.
No, I've never seen that.
Okay, who do you think that looks more like? Got some big eyes there. Looks like his nose is a little large, wide, upturned. Which one do you think that's supposed to be? It's more like you? Looks more like you, huh? But this one here you think is going to be Bobby? First one. You're saying that's the one?
Did anybody see Bobby?
I don't know if anybody seen Bobby.
But Bobby never entered the store.
No, Bobby never entered the store. Bobby stayed in the car. He was cutting wires.
And you said he keeps that pair of wire snips in the car?
Yeah, for speakers.
Just ask.
Tommy, you know who that picture is. Big eye, wide nose. Let me tell you, I met just about everybody that you know or knows you, okay? I've talked to all of them, all right? And when I met someone that I know is an associate of yours, I was with Vic Salvador. Who am I talking about?
Chris.
Chris who? Where does he live?
He lives right behind, in the apartments right over there off of Wills Boulevard, right behind One Dixie over there.
Now, why would you say that it was looked? I'm thinking of Chris. Why would you say that?
Well, because for one, I know y'all talked to him.
I've talked to just about everybody.
I know y'all talked to him.
All right.
And I know he told y'all he used to buy drugs from me.
Okay.
And my mom even said that she was like this too.
Okay.
Is it?
Yeah, that's right.
Chris was there. Okay.
Chris never entered the store.
Was there four of you then?
Tommy, if Chris,
That's the only thing I'm holding back.
Who had the LSD?
Everybody did. Everybody had at least 2 or 3 hits on them before we ever left.
And the marijuana?
The marijuana, a little bit of everybody had a little bit of everything.
Okay. And did you do any other drugs
Yes,
that
we
night?
did. We did pills.
What kind of
We
pills?
did like Vicodins, Somas.
Okay. And Vicodin and Somas are what? I know Somas was a muscle rock.
Right. Vicodin is just a painkiller.
Okay. And how many of those you figure you took?
Man, I think I took like about 6, 7.
Vicodin or
Vicodins. Vicodin. Somas I used to eat. I could eat like maybe 15 of those. You know, my body was so immune to them because I've been doing them for so long.
Again, when you mix all these drugs, what does that do to your memory?
Well, it brings you in and out. You know, some things you can remember, some things you can't once they all start hitting you at one time. You know, and the more you take, you know, it takes a little bit longer for them to hit you. But when they start hitting you all at once, you'll just go in and out along with the LSD.